Nowadays, environmental issues caused by human activity are a matter that has started to concern many societies, as the effects it produces on air are harmful not only in our lifestyle but also in to the ecosystems and the natural balance. And there are almost a population of 8 billion people, and it means that to satisfy and feed our necessities is necessary to obtain enough resources from different natural environments. Despite the fact that Earth provides us with many services and the growing demand of them, humans' greed, inequality, and a lack of consciousness are also other reasons why these issues have a negative impact. The things we consume have been under a long process, and we tend to underestimate or ignore this reality. So it is not usual to ask ourselves how they were made or the impact they have. As a result, the transport we use, like buses or cars, food we consume, and other appliances we need, produce a considerable change in the land, in the atmosphere, in the bodies of water, and the biosphere in general. Although the panorama seems to be unclear, people are constantly looking for prepared proposals to moderate the several changes and issues arising on Earth. Plastic pollution. Plastic is a polymer made of large chains of molecules, so it takes a long time to decompose this material. In the last decades, it has become a widespread issue as a consequence of being used for different purposes, such as making up bad containers, technological devices parts, automobile parts, furniture, buildings, etc. Every year, it is produced around 300 million tons of plastic, and 8 million tons end up in oceans and seas. The most relevant issue is that plastic affects marine life and habitats. Animals like fishes, turtles, and whales often confuse plastic with food and eat it, producing injuries, entanglement, infections, and even death. Another point to consider is microplastic. Plastic can also be divided or shrink into millimeter, nanometer particles by natural processes. So smaller species like plankton also eat it. As a result of the previous issue, marine products we consume can contain plastic, threatening human health. It is essential to recall it has to do with other environmental problems like global warming, because of its industrial processes and because it is made of petrol. If you burn it, it releases carbon dioxide and other chemicals into the atmosphere. The best proposal is to raise awareness among people and governments of this problem by using the appropriate methods. Getting rid of wastage into oceans and recycling are suitable actions, while reducing your consumption, finding alternatives like other chemicals which are unlikely to cause damage, or conserving system materials may stop contamination produced by plastic in the long run.
Water pollution is one of the most important problems about the environment. Water is a fundamental resource. If a person doesn't drink any water, he or she will die in at least 5 days. Taking into account this, now we know that our lives depend on water. So it is very important to talk about water pollution that we can see every day. First of all, we should clarify that water pollution is not just the factory's fault. We are also guilty because in our daily life, we waste water without us realizing. For example, we can consider a waste of water, use drinking water to do cleaning work. For that, we could use rainwater to do it. After all, this water is clean, but it is not suitable for human consumption due to pollution in the atmosphere. Apart from industrial waste dumped to water, global warming is another factor of water pollution. When the temperature gets too high, oxygen in water decreases and this alters the composition of the water. There are many other factors, but the most important is to reflect and begin to act now. It is time to take care of water and provide solutions to preserve this invaluable resource. Even now, there are different systems and techniques to take care of water. Deforestation is another big problem. As you know, trees and plants are something as essential as water for the life of all living beings on the earth. For this reason, it is very worrying the situation that we are living now. This is due to different factors. One of them is factories. Most factories are not interested in taking care of trees. So they use cardboard boxes that are made of rendering cool wood from trees, instead of using boxes made of recycled cardboard as other factories do. Moreover, many factories use wood from trees for their products such as paper. Instead of cutting down trees to produce new paper, they could use recycled paper to do it. But they are not the only ones to blame. We are also guilty because we consume their products and we don't care what damage we are doing to the environment. Another factor is population growth in a specific area. When in an area there are many people, the government and other entities begin to build new houses and new buildings. That is, they start to expand and destroy some places like forests or green areas to be able to live. There are many other factors, but the most important thing is that many people don't know how this affects animals and us. So, for those who don't know, trees help to absorb some polluting gases such as carbon dioxide that, apart from damaging the ozone layer, affects our health. On the other hand, forests provide us food, and if we cut down trees and cut plants, where are we going to get the food? Or if destroyed forests, how are we going to breathe? These are questions that everybody should do themselves every day. If you are going to cut down a tree, at least plant another in this place. But it is very important to keep in mind that we must take care of nature. It includes animals, trees, and plants.
As a conclusion, people around the world have to be conscious of the damage that we are causing to the world. For example, the great companies like mining, petrol, textile companies that are some of the biggest industries that cause contamination. Also the common people, since we are involved in the consumer systems, and every day when we buy products like cell phones, paper products, drinks with plastic bottles, and millions of things that aren't totally necessary for our lives. Our planet is suffering every day, and in a few years our lives will turn very dark and resources like water could be possible to get. We cannot depend on the possibility of getting a new planet like Mars in the next few years. At this moment the only thing that we depend on is this planet. We depend on our resource that this planet gives us, and our labor takes care of this beautiful place.